specifically dry scalps. It doesn't matter how much time you put in between your wash date and the actual time of your washing day, your hair's dry. It's chronically dry. What I would recommend, this part of the video is going to be for dry hair, specifically dry scalps. It doesn't matter how much time you put in between your wash date and the actual time of your washing day, your hair's dry. It's chronically dry. What I would recommend is you can use shampoos that have sulfates. However, if you do, look for formulas that are hydrating, moisturizing, deep conditioning, because it will tone down the sulfates to where it makes it a much more mild formula. I don't discourage people from using sulfates with drier hair types. I would just a bit, because sulfates were made to remove, to strip, to deep clean our bodies as well as our hair. So I would recommend sulfate free just all the way around. However, if you do still like to use sulfates, I'd recommend looking for moisturizing hydrates, and even with sulfate free formulas as well, moisturizing, hydrating, because the issue is your scalp doesn't produce enough oil to moisturize it. So that's why I would recommend those kind of formulas. Some people find that putting conditioner on certain parts of their hair, wherever it may be drier, has really helped them. I typically discourage people from putting conditioner on their scalp just because conditioner is a sealant. It seals the hair. But if you use it and you find that it works for you, great. Definitely invest in a hair mask. A hair mask is going to transform. It's going to change the ends of your hair. I don't know about the top of your hair. Again, I don't put a hair mask on my scalp because I have oily hair. But I would recommend investing in one. It's going to deeply hydrate your hair. Some people actually find that they don't even buy conditioner. They just buy hair masks. From personal usage, I swear by the Garnier hair masks. By far one of my favorite. I'm currently using their Honey Deep Conditioner hair mask. Oh my gosh, 10 out of 10. If you have not used it, please use it. It's actually why my hair is currently so shiny. Honey is a great humectant for dry hair. And then for dry hair as well, only shampoo once. You do not need to shampoo twice, like what I recommended for oily hair. The aftercare routine, so after you shampoo, after you condition on the ears down or a little bit on your scalp, totally at your own discretion, your aftercare routine. You're going to want to definitely look for products that are a little bit more on the moisturizing side, that do have a bit more oils into the formula, because your hair as it isn't producing enough oil, isn't able to moisturize like oily hair is able to. So whenever you do formulate your routine, same thing. I'd recommend a detangling spray, a leave-in conditioner. At your own discretion, if you have more fine hair, look for a conditioning mist. If you have more coarse, dry hair, definitely invest in a leave-in cream. And then to follow it up with a hair oil serum or any type of hair serum. Again, you're gonna wanna look for more oils, a much more hydrating formula. And to stay away as well for the drier hair types. I mean, in general, for all hair types, to try to avoid heat tools, but especially dry hair. I would recommend only using heat tools twice a month, especially if you're trying to get it into a healthier condition, just because it's already dry. It's already struggling to condition your hair. And if you do, please use heat protectant. Heat protectant would follow in before your leave-in cream or conditioner, depending on the formula. I know they make heat protectant balms. There's so many different types of products. It can be so overwhelming, especially if you're new to hair care, you're trying to get into hair care, you're already feeling overwhelmed by the recommendations. Yeah, definitely follow it up with a heat protectant. And then lastly, I would also recommend putting your hair in a protective style. Now I'm at home, so my hair is down, but typically whenever I go out, especially if I'm going outside, I always put my hair up, whether that be in a protective bun, in braids, in a hair clip, those type of things, because your hair, especially if you're in a humid climate, if you're in a dry climate, if you're in a cold climate, really if you're in any climate, the moisture in the air, especially humidity, sucks out the moisture in your hair. So whenever you put it in a protective style, it helps your hair to retain the moisture that you took the time to put into it with your routine. Another thing I'd recommend for drier hair types is definitely, so after you got out of the shower, you did your hair care routine. That hair oil serum is so important to apply the following day and the following day after that. I have found that whenever my ends are really dry, whenever I apply that serum, whether it be the day after or really whenever I notice that my hair is getting drier, it really helps to bring it back to life, and it helps it to really retain that moisture, because whenever you use a serum, it helps your hair to put up a barrier from the elements that are outside, whether that be from heat, whether that be from cold or humidity. So if you find that your hair is dry, please, please, please reapply that serum. And you can apply it as much as you feel you need to. Some people find that they have to apply whatever hair oil serum of their choice twice a day. Some people find they have to apply it every day, every other day. With this hair care routine, you're gonna have to figure out, unfortunately, what works best for you. I find that whenever my ends start to look dry, that's whenever I'll put a little bit of oil into it. I would recommend investing in some kind of detangling brush. There are different brushes based off of your hair. If you have very curly, very kinky hair, they do make certain brushes for your hair type. This is one that I found on Amazon. I think it only cost me like $5. I can drop the link down in the description box below. You can see it has many of those bristles on it, but they're also very bendy, very, very flexible. And this is what really helps to detangle the hair. For me, I have to brush my hair whenever it's wet because I do have wavy hair. And unfortunately, my hair has a habit that if I don't detangle it whenever it's wet, it has a terrible habit of wanting to wrap around itself and continue to tangle and continue to mat. So I have to brush my hair whenever it's wet. So that's why I have this detangling brush that I use right after the shower. Always start on the ends and then work your way to the top. Another brush I would highly recommend is gonna be a wooden brush. A wooden bristle brush is anti-static. It's gonna cause your hair to continue to keep that moisture in there. It won't cause it to become fluffy and frizzy. That oftentimes a lot of people find is what happens whenever they do go to brush their hair. So I would recommend that if you find you don't like static, that it's also great as well for stimulating hair growth, your scalp, and as well, especially with oily hair, it helps to distribute those oils a little bit whenever you do go to brushing your hair. A wooden hairbrush is great for all hair types because it's gentle enough. It is great at reaching down into the roots and spreading the oils and stimulating hair growth. What I would recommend instead of using dry shampoo is investing in a Boar bristle hairbrush. What this is gonna do, I can get you a close up, is the Boar bristle hairbrush. So actually in ancient times, this is what a lot of women back in the day would use, so that way the oil could spread down to the lower lengths of their hair. It is, unfortunately, I want to say a lost art. Not enough people use Boar bristle hairbrushes anymore because it's no longer advertised in society. People don't recommend. This is not a brush you use for detangling. These specific Boar bristle brushes are used for distributing oils down to your scalp. No, down to the ends of your hair. Because if you try to detangle with the Boar bristle brush, it's going to get more matted, it's going to get more tangled. You will not get very far. This specific brush is made to distribute oils throughout your hair. I'd recommend this instead of dry shampoo because another side effect of dry shampoo that a lot of people don't want to admit or tend to gloss over, especially whenever they're advertising a product for their company, unless it is all natural. It is made from arrowroot powder, baking soda, and cornstarch. It is going to cause your hair to fall out because of the harsh, harmful ingredients that are contained in dry shampoos. If you'd like to know more, you're more than welcome to go to my blog. I'll put it in the description box down below. For all of the hair types, I'm going to recommend protective styles. The reason is if you're going outside, you're going to be in the elements. You're going to be where there's wind. You may be where there's extreme heat, extreme humidity, or extreme cold weather, depending on the season, of course. Or if you do live in the city, you may deal with pollution. The reason why protective style is so important is, as the name implies, it protects your hair. It helps keep all of the moisture. You spent so much time doing your routine. Wouldn't you want to protect your hair from, number one, getting dirty, number two, getting further damaged, because wind can and will damage your hair. So will humidity, because it sucks out all the moisture in the hair. So will extreme heat, because it will dry out your hair. So will extreme cold, because it will also dry out your hair and cause it to break. That's why protective styles are so important. If you're at home, it doesn't really matter unless you're going to bed. Please wear a protective style. Because if you're like me, you're a toss and turner. So if your hair is down, especially if you have longer hair, it's going to get completely tangled. And it'll help prevent split ends. It'll help you retain moisture. It'll help protect the overall health of your hair. And what these styles look like, it can be anything from a bun to a braid or braids. If you would like a video on how I do my own protective styles, please let me know. This applies to all of the hair types: dry, oily, sensitive, combo, whatever it may be. Health, your overall health. If you do not take care of yourself, if you're constantly eating out, if you find yourself going on drinking benders, if you find whatever it is that you're smoking, whether it be nicotine or not, and how often you do it, these things can be affecting your scalp, they can be affecting your skin, they can be affecting your mental health as well. A lot of people, they don't correlate the fact that they ate at McDonald's for the past 5 days in a row, and then suddenly their scalp is super greasy, and they're really depressed, and they don't feel good about themselves. And then they have a bunch of cystic acne because the grease from the food actually made their skin even more greasier. If you do have oily skin, I'd recommend not eating out as much because it's going to cause flare-ups. Same with sensitive skin. Whatever you eat, it's going to cause flare-ups because all of these things are connected. What you're putting into your body is going to show on the outside. If you don't have a good diet, if you don't have an exercise routine, if you don't have any sort of health going on, all of these things are going to reflect in other ways. And our body, unfortunately, has a way of really showing us, hey, this isn't good for me. I'm gonna get super, super dry on your scalp and hopefully there will be a change. Or I'm gonna have a bunch of cystic acne until you cut back. And I find that this happens based off of what I'm eating, what I'm consuming, or what I'm not eating, what I'm not consuming. Vitamin-rich foods, as well as home-cooked meals. So again, you can follow all these healthcare tips on how to take care of your hair, but if you're not taking care of yourself from the inside, unfortunately, there's only so much it can do.